Rosenberg and Tony Touch.
Yes.
Tony
Toka.
What up? What up?
Yo, you have a movie out, which was amazing. It's on Paramount. You can stream it. What is the name?
Mixtape.
The movie.
Mixtape, the movie. Yeah, that's
right.
it. Yeah.
You had an amazing show in Uptown, which I believe Rosenberg, you were able to make it over.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss it. That was a night.
That was a scene.
It was packed up there.
Robert De Niro introduced the film. Tribeca Film Festival event. Yeah, last year.
That was a great night, man. And you guys really killed it. You took a topic that I feel like all of us know about because we're so close to it, but that you wouldn't necessarily understand if you weren't sort of a hip hop insider from that era.
Yes.
And I think you really made it palatable for people to like understand what the mixtape is and how it's evolved.
Thank you, man. Thanks for your participation in it too. You know, you hit some keynotes on there, and yeah, I mean, even if you're not like a fan of like hip hop or, you know, it's a very insightful film. Like the reviews have been great. Like people like, you know, have said like you don't even have to be into like the music, just appreciate the lessons learned and you know, there's a lot of insightful information.
How many of those were you on all the interviews?
I interviewed about 80% of the people in the film, you know.
What was that work like? That's real, and that's not the same as us just sitting here and BSing with people. You have and you have to hit,
crew, find the location,
and then hitting the points that you know you need to tell the story of the movie.
Are you saying we don't hit the points we know we need?
No, we do a great job.
I mean, yeah, you know, I went over the top like I do with my albums, you know. You know, it's stacked. The appearances, over 100 appearances. I mean, you know, we got all your favorite mixtape DJs. You know, I was able to pull favors from like Shaquille O'Neal and Mike Tyson made appearances in it. You know, Tommy Hilfiger. Like it was just all over the place.
I think the other reason it's being heralded so well and received so well is because, you know, hip hop and people from the culture chronicling something that was really important to the culture from, you know, first person.
Yeah.
It's very important. I think the other piece I think everyone out there needs to understand is, you know, this also, mixtapes capture a moment in history. Like every mixtape that you ever loved, the date, the time, the music, it was a thing, right?
That's right.
And I think that's, you know, and I know the film picks up on that, is that this is actually mixtapes are time capsules.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, the story kind of tells itself, so it wasn't like really hard to like put it together. But it's a tremendous story. You know, it tells us. You know, we get into the origins, the deep origins of the mixtape, which is, you know, which were like party tapes in the beginning. You know, bootleg recordings of like events from like, you know, late '70s, early '80s, and you know, I mean, the story captures like its origins, its impact on the music industry. You know, it's demise even.
Right.
You know,
it's so important because I saw a couple months ago I saw a Twitter thread of like I don't know, like someone obviously super young, but like mind blown that people went to jail over mixtapes.
Yeah.
Like drama had to be in court.
Yeah.
And got, you know, his studio and Cannon's was raided, and they had to literally like get legal representation, and they couldn't believe that even happened.
Yeah. We tapped into that story pretty well, and we also talked about how he rose from that, which is a big deal. Like how he was able to get back up and make more history and more of an impact on the industry. So shout out DJ Drama.
It was cool at the premiere. Obviously, it was a different experience because it was a room filled with DJs. Like basically almost it was a great like reunion of DJs at that event.
Amazing.
And when the drama part happened, it's hard to explain, but like the movie's building momentum, and then you realize when you get to the drama part, you're like, oh shit, it's the DJ drama part. You know what I mean? Like he has a real segment in the movie. Did you intentionally know, like did you go into it knowing that like you had the early era, and then when you got to like the last truly meaningful mixtape era, it was essentially the drama era?
I mean, we stuck with the timeline.
And like Cannon, by the way. Let me shout out Cannon.
Shout out Cannon. You know, the movie's like a timeline. Like I said, man, we go back to like the 70s, talked about how it started, and then I knew we was gonna go there. You know, we had to. I mean, that was like, you know, the point of the movie where, you know, it could have went left or right after that for a lot of us, and we had to cover it. That was definitely the intent. And shout out Drama, you know, who also has like a lot of history. We spoke about, his early ons, you know, and a lot of people overlook like what he's done before that. Like everybody just talks about that with drama, and just want to make a point that, you know, he's been doing this thing for a while, way before that, and to this day.
Let's talk about the phone calls you got after the movie came out from the people that you either forgot to talk to or it just never happened. Like, I know your phone was ringing with like, yo, how am I not part of the mixtape?
Yeah, I can't really get into, not get into it, but there's not really too many complaints on that end, you know.
Because if they weren't in there, I'm sure you reached out to them and they didn't make time, and you're like, I tried to tell you.
Right. I was trying to hit you and it never got done.
I tried to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The film came out last month. I've been on the road so much that I haven't really gotten any negative feedback or something like that. No, I'll keep it real.
Well, and so,
that's great.
But on that, take us back to, you know, the spark that drove you to make this film, right? Because I'm sure there's other people who have tried. I'm sure there's probably other docs out there, but there was something that happened where you were like, nah, this ain't being...
Yeah.
A, I need to do this, or B, it's not being told the right way.
Well, I was actually approached on it. Shout out to Omar Acosta, who also directed with Bobbito and Stretch, the Stretch and Bobbito film.
Which they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and shout out Nick Quested and David Kennedy and the guys over there at Saboteur Media. And so those guys that did the Stretch and Bobbito movie, which Stretch Armstrong introduced me to them, said, listen, these guys are interested in doing like something with you, similar to the Stretch and Bob film, but the focus was like on me, like kind of like maybe recreating a 50 MCs, and they follow me around. Right. So I was like, I said I could do that, but maybe get doo-wop involved. I didn't know the scale as to where this could go. And I said, let me and doo-wop do it. He could do half the work too, right? I was like, I'm not doing it.
Right. It could be a Diaz Brothers thing.
It was a Diaz Brothers thing. I said, let me do it with doo-wop. And then like it just snowballed. And then we said, well, I get doo-wop, we got to get Kid Capri. Like, he's the real essence of this whole thing. And it just was a snowball effect. Like, well, we got Kid Capri, well, we got to go back now and talk to, you know, Brucey B, and we got to tell the history then. And it just snowballed into this thing. It organically, the film just developed where all these features, you know, came into play. And I want to say shout out to K. Slay, rest in peace, K. Slay, who was featured in the film. And he dropped some jewels on there, but yeah, like initially the film was supposed to be like, yo, let's Tony Touch, follow him around, redo another album or 50 MCs. I was like, nah, we gotta tell the real story on the mixtape. You know, the whole culture. There was too many players in this thing that, you know, I just wasn't gonna just take the light like that, you know.
So now I'm today years old. You walk in the room like, yo, did y'all hear the music that goes along with the movie?
The Def Tape.
The Def Tape.
You were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's pretty sad. The album is out. It's on Def Jam Records. It's called The Def Tape. It came out, you know, at the same time last month when the film came out. I basically created a mixtape, and there's a lot of music in the film. Part of the film is showing me making this album too. We stuck with that a little bit, and basically picture like your favorite Def Jam records, beats, and stuff like that. So I was able to access their whole catalog and use artists from the Def Jam catalog, past and present. So we redid like Paul Revere with like Rick Ross and Jeezy.
That's
and them.
Incredible.
You know, Jada Kiss on Tonight's the Night. Davies, Tiana Taylor redid All I Need,
That's
the Meth
phenomenal.
joint. And it's
And
an
this has
incredible
been out how
album.
long?
It's been out over a month.
And nobody's gonna get fired at Def Jam that nobody at High 97 in New York City knows about. Like, I've literally heard nothing about this.
Jesus.
I only know, so I know because you mentioned it to me, but truth be told, because I hadn't really heard about it anywhere else, I was kind of like, oh, maybe he just pulled songs. It's a soundtrack, but I didn't know it was original, that you had access to the Def Jam library. Yeah. And you had, you know, you have a Chuck D, Bobby Sessions record.
Yeah, Chuck D redid the Black Steel.
In Our Chaos.
Yeah, you did.
I got a letter from the government.
Yeah, he did.
Conway
like
and Benny did Who Shot Ya?
What?
Or is that I Shot Ya?
I Shot
They
Ya.
did I Shot Ya.
Yeah, I had to flip the
Well,
titles
now
a little
it's
bit.
called We Shot Ya.
Yeah.
And then it's Pablo's Revere. That's fire.
Yo,
Instead of Paul's review.
Nah, this is
exciting.
This is
I needed something to listen to that I was actually interested in.
You know what? I'm sorry. We don't have to play. Ebro and I haven't heard this yet. Laura, we haven't heard this. Let's just see what it sounds like real quick.
You want to play that Davies, Tiana Taylor? That's kind of was supposed to be the lead off.
Well, I just got it.
Here's a little story
Oh, that's Tony Touch.
That's me a little, do like a little intro.
You know so well. It started way back, like back in the day. Now your boy Toka got something to say. I had a little horsey named Pablo, honey. Me and my horsey and a lot of honeys. I tried to let him know, but these clowns is dummies. So I passed it off to Snow, cause it sound like money. Woo! I've been on this bitch like I'm Kobe, nigga. 10 years straight, nigga, 15. You know what it is.
Oh, wow.
I came
Jeezy
in this
on this.
bitch with a rope chain in the pot, nigga. Yeah, I came in this gang hard as a motherfucker left. Before the man lived, yeah, your boys bowling chickens. You in touch with cutting records, I was cutting bacon soap. Quarter ounce for the buck, 25 taking over. When the only thing was dripping was the water in the pot. Bought $250,000 and I drove it off the lot. First I made $1 million and I sold 1 million records. Send it by the I-10, got them bitches out of Texas. Yeah, you try to make it stretch, hit it with some warm water. When you hit it with that cold, make that hard get harder. Hop up out that phantom with a cannon, make a move. Pull up on your partner, broad day, make a smoothie. Who is there looking at my window like a CeeLo? Nas need 1 mic, I only need a kilo. We ain't even talking about no paper, nigga.
Wow.
Yo,
Maybach music.
Illuminati, nigga, where you running to? I know just where you going, what your mama do. You got a big mouth, but your house small. Got a split 20.
Yo, this is about to be regular rotation on Ebro in the morning,
Yeah,
bro.
listen.
Damn.
That's
Nah,
pretty
because that's,
sick.
you know, like instant, you know, one of the things I keep, or more recently been talking about is the level of instant familiarity that hip hop has a cheat code on, right? With sampling. Right? When you go back, you listen to, you think about a Juicy from B.I.G., let's just take, the beat comes on, everybody knows what it is. Generational.
Right.
Boom. Then some dude comes in telling an amazing story. Let's say you never had heard Juicy in your entire, you heard him too, mate, but you never had heard Biggie's version. You're going to be like, oh,
Right.
I'm into it. I like this.
Yeah, it's easy.
There's a thing about records like that.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
an instant like, ooh factor. And then if the artists on there do a phenomenal job, it's like, I want to play this again. This is great.
Yeah, no, I'm proud of the work. I mean, it came out amazing. I mean, Def Jam catalog speaks for itself. You know, I was able to access all them records and you know, shout out to Nori. He redid the DMX, the Stop Being Greedy joint. Like,
What?
yeah, the album is sick, man, and it's a shame that it's overlooked in a sense. You know, I don't know how.
Well, it's only been a month, so we
Yeah.
can still save this thing.
There you
we can
go.
still make some noise.
But this process started in the last iteration of Def Jam with Paul Rosenberg at the helm, right?
Correct.
So
Yeah,
this is from that
Paul
era.
Rosenberg cut the deal with me, who's also an executive producer on the film. You know, and he saw the vision. He was behind everything, you know, and then he left midway through like the whole creative process and all that. But
You know Paul going back. You had M on 50 MC's 3?
no, yeah,
Two?
M was on 50 MC's 3, correct.
On 3, because
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
little vinyl sampler, I think it's on there.
Correct, yeah,
Is that
yeah.
where you know Paul from?
I
Or
knew
before that?
Paul from before the Eminem 50 MC's appearance, and I've been working with those guys 20 years plus. My show on Shave 45, 19 years I've been up there.
Right.
You know, so I got a great relationship with those guys. And yeah, Paul, you know, pushed the button and made it happen, and you know, here we are.
Tony Toka. And that's called, what's the music called?
The Def Tape.
The Def Tape.
Yeah.
And the movie on Paramount, you can go stream it right now. The Mixtape.
Yeah, the mixtape, the movie.
The movie.
Mm-hmm. On Paramount
Toka.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great story, man. Do you want to do more in film? Did this make you want to do more? Were you like, this was a lot, I'm gonna go back to music, DJ now?
I got other film project ideas. You know, I definitely like, you know, been doing more scoring too. Been getting work like scoring and yeah, film is great. I'm definitely tapped into that, and I'm doing a lot of other things too. Like Ebro, I be on my house music vibe. I'm DJing with Black Coffee Saturday.
Yeah. At the Garden.
Yeah. No, he's at the Garden. We got the after party
Oh,
in
at the
Brooklyn.
after.
Brooklyn
Mirage.
Mirage.
Black Coffee's at the
That's
Garden?
crazy too.
It's a different
Black
type
Coffee
of
sold out
movie.
the Garden.
Big Garden?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
House music in Madison Square Garden.
Wow, that's crazy.
South Africa in the building.
That's gonna be crazy.
Heavy.
But I've been to I saw him at the Brooklyn Mirage, and let me tell you, different type of movie. We were
Yeah.
dancing in the rain, fam.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's
Amazing,
so good.
amazing. Yeah, so I'm playing with Black Coffee Saturday, Brooklyn Mirage. You
Well,
know.
and I'm glad you said that too, because a lot of where hip hop is today, people forget how intertwined hip hop, club music, dance music, electronic, it's all hip hop,
Yeah,
right? Like it all
absolutely.
comes from the same root.
Yeah, I got a whole album coming out, house album coming out next right now. You know, shout out Louis Vega, New York legend.
Legend.
I got a record out right now that's like buzzing. It's called Apaga la Luz. The video's up and running, and we're killing the house scene right now with that. So I'm tapped in with the house scene. You know, I'm still on my rap thing. My reggaeton 3 coming out, doing my Latin thing. So
it's all kind of, when you think about it, you're in the perfect place where music has gone. Because you have always had these connections and touch points to all this music.
Yeah.
And all are now very in.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
reggaeton has taken on a whole different sort of meaning and life in this
It
era.
sustained itself.
Yeah, and it found its real sound too. I mean, reggaeton is no longer just the sound of the same. Me and Syph used to joke that at that time, in the early days of reggaeton, it felt like the same beat on every single record.
No, it was the same beat.
It was.
It didn't feel like it was.
Yeah, because it absolutely was.
Dembo.
Remember, we had a beat.
Yeah.
Remember, we did a bit on the air about it was a guy named Reggae Tony who came up with that one beat, and that was the whole thing. But it sustained itself now as like a full genre.
That's right.
Plus, house has come back in the biggest way, and the Afro beat with house is
crazy.
like
Yeah.
you're in
Well,
the perfect
South
spot.
Africa has a huge house, you know, Mzansi house, you know, which is a term for South African house. They have the Amapiano, they have house, they have, their music scene.
Yeah.
They got a lot of different
Bruh,
genres, huh? And subgenres.
bruh.
Yeah.
South Africa's music scene is incredible.
On fire.
And they got fire hip hop. Fire hip hop.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you and I got to rap, Tony, because it's my 45th birthday this year.
I love that.
So you know what I have to do.
Oh,
I
man.
don't know.
You-
Nobody celebrates 45.
Oh, yeah, you do.
45's not a thing.
Nah, we're
It's
gonna-
50. Tell them.
No, it's a
45.
45s, bro. We got to have the 45 party of all time, baby.
45 King.
We got to have the 45. I don't know
You
what it's
gonna
going to be. I'm going to do a mini. I'm going to open up, and then I want to get other people to.
I'm going to bring all 45
I
That's
need
the whole
Tony.
point.
Yeah, I need Tony
and
to
play the party.
You got
I
to
need-
get condoms, too.
for the
45s.
dance hall 45
Yo,
set.
his 45s is crazy. Condoms has 45s crazy.
Bobby.
No, bro. There's a lot of
Bobby.
people. A Big Ben could body a 45
Big Ben.
set.
That's right.
There's an endless supply of people who can just absolutely crush.
I'm in, man.
All right, so we'll build towards that.
I'm in. Also, on another note, you guys mentioned how I stay tapped in with like the Latin community, the reggaeton movement, the house movement. I'm heavy in that. Of course, I just dropped like the hottest hip hop album of the year.
Talk your shit.
Let's say it, you know what I mean? And then I got a big show coming up, 2024, at Radio City Music Hall.
Who you
I'm
got?
gonna bring it all together.
Really?
What?
What are we talking about?
Yeah, February 9th.
That's big, Tony.
Yeah, it's like the Tony Touch Presents, or I don't have a real title for you. It's Tony Touch and Family, or 40 years of Tony Touch.
What
We'll
kind of
figure
show
out.
are we talking about, though? Like,
Multicultural.
Tony
like
touches all genres.
everybody from
Whoa.
Big Daddy Kane to Zion and Lennox to, you know, I mean, Lizette
Queen.
Tony
Melendez.
touched
like,
the people.
I like that.
Tony touched the people is not bad.
Yeah. So Radio City Music Hall, yeah, we're setting that
Wow,
up.
February 9th.
Yeah, it's
So
my,
I can get a free ticket for coming up. with the title?
absolutely. I need you to come on stage and
Oh, let's go.
talk your
We
shit,
there.
talk your shit for me, bro.
All
We're
of that,
there,
all of
bro.
that, all of that cultural shit is my shit, bro.
I love that. Yeah, of course we tap, you know, house, you know,
all that.
Ruben Blades. I mean, this is what we doing, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this is all a build. We have a lot going on. We got the Def Tape. We got the movie on Paramount Plus.
Yes.
We got February 9th
Radio City.
at Radio City.
That's
We
right.
got this Saturday at Brooklyn Mirage.
Black Coffee. That's right.
There it is, Tony Touch.
Yeah, things
Go
are going
check-
well.
Go check the Mixtape, the movie, and Def Tape on Apple Music. Go look for
I
it.
love it.
Tony Touch.
Thanks,
Give
man.
it up.
Thank you, brother.
Bang,
Thank you,
bang,
fellas.
bang.